Hey folks, and welcome to Unit 1 and Week 1. Let's go ahead and start with Unit 1 here, okay? So, as I said before, each paper has its own unit, so there are 4 units, 4 papers, okay? This unit is focused on analytical writing. It's going to practice some basic citation. It'll focus on the difference between popular and scholarly resources and what the strengths and weaknesses are of each, and then finally how to cite those sources properly. Okay, so first things to do this week, watch the Welcome to Class and the How to Navigate the Course video. I know this might seem like kind of basic and not super interesting, but these are the things that are sort of lay out what you need to do in order to just kind of get through our course and do well. Let's go ahead and take a look at Week 1 specifically. All right, so watch the Welcome video. Watch the How to Navigate the Course video. Those are the 2 things I just mentioned. Watch the Week 1 video. You're doing that right now. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Then I want you to go over all the course information. So on the left-hand side, you've got general course info here. Please go into that, take a look at that. And then at the bottom, you've got the student resources and Feel Like You're Drowning. Okay, please take a look at all of those sections. Then, I want you to do 3 things. Take the syllabus or general information quiz, check your Prairie State email, and send Professor Nicholas a note to say hi, and then complete your introduction post on the discussion board. And if we go down here, you'll see those 3 things are right here in the class introduction module. I'll just point out again, if you don't see anything in the class introduction module, use these triangles to open and close the section, okay? So, then I want you to look over essay number 1, okay? So you want to read the essay number 1 assignment. Essay number 1 is not due until September 2nd. It is not due on Monday. It is due in 3 weeks. But I always give you the assignment the first week of a module, and then it is due the last day of that unit, okay? So, take a look at the essay assignment and the rubric. So let's go ahead and scroll down here. The rubric's right there. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You can take a look at it, but we'll go into the essay. So, I will almost always give you guys some context. In this case, we often get told don't use popular sources in your school papers. There is, however, little discussion about why, other than the generic statement that scholarly sources are better. It's true in some ways, but in other ways, popular sources are just fine. So the essay that we're going to do today, that we're going to start today, will investigate the difference between these two in one specific instance. So what I want you to do is choose a popular article that talks about a study. Often we see these things in news outlets. You'll have articles with titles like, New study suggests 18 glasses of red wine a day prevents heart disease. This is the sort of thing you want. Then find the scholarly study on which the original article is based. I have a list below of samples. Feel free to use one of these. Matter of fact, I would encourage you to use one of these. In later essays, I'm going to give you guys free rein. I will actually not give you assigned topics unless you guys are really struggling. And if anyone is at any point really struggling, you say, can you just help me out with a topic? I'm glad to do that. But there's, 10 or 12 different topics down there. Choose one, and it gives you both the popular article and the scholarly article. If you don't want to use one of those, you're welcome to find your own. It's just that this paper, we've got 3 weeks from beginning to end on it. It's going to be a pretty short turnaround. My goal is that you don't spend your time trying to find articles, but instead work on the paper and just choose one of those. So, but the essay should answer the question. Okay, you should compare the two, but then you should explain whether the popular article was complete and correct. In short, it should answer the question, did the popular article get it right? Okay, this is the thing. Of course, we always see these articles in newspapers saying the study says blah, 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 blah. So our question here is, were they right? Okay, how right were they? Okay, so some questions you might think of asking are, does the scholarly research show what the popular article claims? If the popular article claims extends life or improves X, but to what degree does it really extend or improve? If there's a percentage, what does that mean in practical terms? I always say, if you extend the life of a terminal cancer patient by 50%, well, that might have it be huge, but if their average life expectancy is 2 months and you extend it to 3, there is certainly a question as to whether or not all of the medication or whatever it's going to require is worth it, okay? It might be. It's just we need to understand in practical terms what's this mean. Popular articles are definitely more simplistic and shorter. What does the popular leave out leave out that the scholarly article has in it? What impact does that have on the correctness and completeness of the article? So those are some two terms I want you to think about. Correctness and completeness. Is it correct and complete? If someone were to act on the information in the popular article, would they be making the best decision? So every paper will have this context, the assignment, and then criteria and details. MLA format, 12-point font, 1-inch margins, 3 to 4 pages, double-spaced. Not a particular stickler for length, but short essays tend to be underdeveloped. Quotations need to be cited appropriately, paraphrases need to be cited appropriately, and parenthetical citations should lead to an MLA formatted works cited page. Those 3 things are hugely important. Okay, so that's essay 1. That's what we're going to do. If you guys have any questions, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do with this essay, come talk to me. I'm glad to help. Okay. Also, we've got a couple things here. There are 2 videos and a link, all of which focus on popular and scholarly articles. Our text, that's this first one here, actually looks at professional sources as well, and that's just fine. You can learn about those very briefly. Then scholarly and popular articles, that's from the Jessup Library. It's a really good quick video. And then how to read a scholarly article. Just kind of gives you a tutorial of how to go about looking at this really difficult, dense text. Okay? So, that's everything in the Look Over Essay 1 section. And then finally, there is this section on writing annotations. So there's a video on how to write an annotation, a sample annotation. I'll show you that very quickly. Okay. So sample annotation right here, we've got it broken into chunks. The video goes into this in greater details. You do not need to color code yours. If you want to, feel free, but you're not obligated to do so. Okay? And then you're going to write an annotation of the scholarly article you've chosen from Essay 1. So in other words, if you chose one from that list, you just need to write an annotation of the scholarly article. Okay? Try to get all the details in there that are important. That's everything for week number 1. It seems like a lot. In many ways, it is a lot. But we're going to kind of be keeping up at this pace more or less the whole semester, okay? If you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. I will be glad to help.